We're going live now for real. 2 minutes, 3 minutes late. It's okay. I'll stay another 5 minutes. I owe it to you. I owe it to myself. Sorry about that, guys. Problem was, initially I had to pee. Right when we were going to go live. I said to myself, I can hold it for an hour. Sure thing. Why not? Why not hold it for an hour? Because it keeps you honest. A lot of times actors say, listen, I had to pee during that scene. But I tell you, if you have to pee during a scene, it keeps you honest, makes you actually act and live in the moment. You're actually living in the moment more than you would normally. All of this is mumbo jumbo, guys. I don't know enough about acting to be an expert on it, but I've done a little bit of it. Hey, Ismael. I'm sneezing. It's allergy season, and we are live on Instagram. We're live on all the platforms right now. Guys, on Instagram, on YouTube, thank you for joining me. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle. I was rambling a little bit just now about having to pee when you're in a scene and you're an actor, and a lot of times people say, hey, if you have to pee, that's a good thing. Use it for you. You'll be real. You'll be live. You'll be present. I'm sneezing on the air. It's allergy season. What's up, Jonathan J. _.1. Thank you for joining us. Hey, we're talking about movies. It's what we do every day. We talk about movies, and today, particularly, our discussion is about artificial intelligence. Movies that feature artificial intelligence. If you can name one that you like, let us know. Let me know. We'll talk about it. One of my favorites, right off the bat, I'm going to talk about is Ex Machina. I don't know if you saw the movie Ex Machina, but it's phenomenal. It's available on Netflix if you want to watch it, and you're home and you're quarantined. I know you're all home. You're like me. Do I look like a guy who's been indoors for 2 months? Yes. I know. We've all been Terminator. Boom, right off the bat. Howdy, Tatiana. Sorry, guys, I'm a couple minutes late. There was a problem with my bladder. It was full. And then I solved the problem. I peed. But guys, I want you to know I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming, hanging out with Aristotle Full Throttle. That's me. I'm already talking about myself in the third person. I'm almost like the president. This has been incredible. I've been doing this every day, every weekday, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's West Coast time in the United States. People from all over the world have been joining. Tatiana, Ismail, Jonathan, Kelsey, Alabama. Is this Will, K. Ferg, all the... Do not follow me. I'm serious. That's actually that's a screen name. I would like you to follow me, please, on all the platforms. AristotleFullThrottle.com. Just go there. You can subscribe to my YouTube. And I'm starting a TikTok, guys. I have a TikTok. You can find me there, Aristotle Dreher. And on Twitter, Aristotle Dreher. There's so many places you could find me so we can hang out. We can form a club. We can be best friends forever. BFFs. We can be BTTFs. Back to the Futures. That's who we are, guys. I appreciate you. This has been great. We formed our own little tight-knit group of people who can get through this together, even though we are apart. I know it's tough. I know it's been hard. It's been very hard. Particularly these last couple of weeks, we're feeling the blues. We're feeling depression. We're feeling sad. Humans are a social animal, like dolphins, except we got thumbs. Stupid dolphins. We got two up on them. You know what I say about dolphins? And you're no thumbs. You guys couldn't even figure out how to have a thumb. Screw you, dolphins. Also, the Dolphins from Miami, they're not that good either. I don't know about football. I was just making a joke. Kelsey, Alabama. Are you from Alabama or are you from Mississippi, the neighboring mirrored state of, between the two states, I think they're about 12 teeth. The Untamed Feline. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Now that I got our intro out of the way, not out of the way, I really do thank you guys. It means a lot to me. I just want to be real here on Aristotle Full Throttle. Be real with you. This is great. Everybody's showing up. We're coming in the room. We're talking about movies. Because movies always bring a smile to my face. They're They're from imagination land. They're what humans do other than being a social animal. We're a storytelling animal. We tell stories. This is how we learn. We learn from example. Monkey see, monkey do. We're a bunch of monkeys. What's up, Robert Medina? All right, we got a crowded house tonight. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, it's actually noon. You could bring your lunch or your dinner or your giant coffee mug, because today we're talking about artificial intelligence in movies. AI. It goes back a long way, all the way to the movie Metropolis from like 100 years ago. There's a movie called Metropolis. It's black and white. It's crazy. It's actually in the style of German Expressionism. If you want to, dig deep on that, it's actually pretty cool. That movie features a robot, which was later modeled. There was another modeled robot in the form of that robot. That's a very famous one. You'll know. It's from Star Wars. C-3PO. C-3PO looks a lot like the robot in Metropolis. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's on purpose. Hey, A Cosmic Chaco. I don't know how to say that, but welcome. Some of my favorite movies featuring artificial intelligence, especially recently, a movie called Ex Machina with Alicia Vikander, Oscar Isaac, and Domhnall Gleeson. I think that's Irish for Dominic. Dominic Gleeson. You ever notice Irish, the language of Irish is spelled? Let me try English again. I can't even start with Irish if I can't handle English. Have you ever looked at the language of Irish? Irish is a language, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. If you go to Ireland, all of the signs are printed in English and Irish because the Irish happened to be conquered by the English because, a lot of the world got conquered by the British Empire and all that. And they were forced to speak English. But however, they actually natively, originally, Irish speak Irish, not Gaelic. Gaelic is a style. It's a form. It's actually like a Highlands type of dialect situation. But Irish. And Irish is so funny, like the name Aoife or Saoirse, like Saoirse Ronan. They're spelled so funny. There's like Q's and K's and little marks that to denote, I don't know, the Irishness of it. But let's get into it. Tatiana brings up, cool, didn't know that about C-3PO. C-3PO, yeah, that was a really cool thing about George Lucas. George Lucas is a phenomenal filmmaker, obviously the creator of Star Wars, the creator of all that stuff. Indiana Jones he created. He's got a great imagination, that guy. He went to film school. First movie he made in film school, or at least his senior project, was called THX 1138. Rolls right off the tongue. It's actually it's basically Elon Musk's other kid's name. THX 1138. That movie, the student film, is actually really good too. But when George Lucas graduated film school, people said, "Hey, George Lucas, I like that you can make movies. Here's some money. Make this movie again, but bigger budget." And Robert Duvall, and he made a movie called THX 1138. Really cool dystopian type of movie that really actually does remind me of what it's like right now. Kind of this isolated, weird dystopian future where everything is kind of socialistic and you're just sitting in your own cubicle and you're, you're heavily medicated with caffeine. Do not follow me. I'm serious. Right on time. He actually almost beat me to the punch. I'm going to close this chat. Okay. All right. Here we are. Do not follow me. I'm serious. Listen. I mean, it sounds like I'm asking you to do something, but I'm not. I'm just asking you to follow me. So George Lucas then went on, obviously, to create the Star Wars movies. And I think it's really interesting that if you watch the Star Wars movies and C-3PO and R2-D2 and all of these robots that are in that movie, they're considered actual people, really, in a lot of ways. I know that some characters treat them as slaves, and then other characters like Luke Skywalker have always been benevolent toward the artificial droids, the intelligence of the artificial droids. He treats them like real people too, and he always has. That's why I love in The Last Jedi when Luke looks over to, spoiler alert, Dooney, if you have not seen The Last Jedi, when the force projection of Luke looks over at C-3PO. He gives him a little wink and a nod. And he also has like a nice moment with R2-D2, which is because Rian Johnson, the writer-director of The Last Jedi, gets all the characters better than J.J. Abrams did. And I will fight that to the end. Of course Luke Skywalker was stranded on an island in the middle of space because everybody did that. Yoda did that. Obi-Wan did that. Of course they were stranded and needed some coercion to get out of exile. I gotta tell you. That was really a part of the whole point. That's why I might go on a rant now about why Luke Skywalker made perfect sense that he would be a hermit. He's Hermit the Luke. He hangs out by himself because he's like, I failed the galaxy. I might as well take myself out the equation. That is why you spent an entire 7th movie. That's why you spent The Force Awakens looking for me. Because I was hiding and didn't want to be found. What you think? You're going to hand me a lightsaber and I'm going to be like, oh, well, thanks. Now let's go destroy the First Order right away. He even says that in the movie. He's like, what, do you want me to just go stare down the First Order? And then he does it at the end of the movie. It's great. Bro in the know with the fro. Thank you for knowing the catchphrase, the slogan of the show. Bro in the know with the fro. And I'm your bro. And we all know. AI. iRobot is your favorite AI flick, K. Ferg says. iRobot was pretty good, actually. Based on the book by Isaac Asimov, iRobot, or the short story. Isaac Asimov actually created the rules of robotics, which are kind of loosely followed by people who create robots, because we're afraid that they might take over the whole world. They might go, hey, we robots, we figured things out better than you humans. You guys are very inefficient with your biological bodies and whatnot. It's kind of annoying. We just got to get rid of you. You're really in the way. Kind of funny, like cart before the horse, that whole concept of robots going, hey, humans, we're a tool for you to make things easier. Then ultimately the robots realize that the humans are slowing down the process, and the humans, in order to make the robots, in order to make the process more efficient, eliminate the humans from the equation, which I think is a hilarious. Really, this is like the fear, the existential fear of humanity, that we get afraid that if we create a robot that's really good at a job, that the robot will figure out the humans are useless in getting that job done. This robot really wants to make toothpaste tubes, okay? This robot's really good, but every time Dominic shows up late, they can't get these toothpaste. The robot's like, listen, Dominic, I need to make, if I figured out that if you weren't here, Dominic, if you weren't taking a break every hour for 5 minutes and eating a sandwich out the fridge in the break room, Dominic, I can make 12 more toothpaste tubes in that time. So, Dominic, I'm going to have to murder you. You're gone. It's just, we got to get these two. My job as a robot is to create as many toothpaste tubes, and that's all I care about, Dominic. You were over there eating a salami sandwich out the break room. That's 12 toothpastes we could have made. You're dead now. We have to murder you. It's like that episode of Black Mirror with the robot dogs. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Black Mirror with the robot dogs and they go around killing everybody. That's a crazy episode. I'm still scared. I still have nightmares. I still wake up in a cold sweat thinking about that episode because I was freaked out. Dispassionate murdering robots that look like dogs or roaches or whatever you want to say. But that episode of Black Mirror is, I highly recommend it, but also be ready to feel really awkward and weird for like 3 days after it, because it's upsetting. It's an upsetting episode. Like every episode of Black Mirror. Today we're talking about artificial intelligence. Thank you. Do not follow me. I'm serious. Dooney, I call you. Thank you for reminding me to do a station ID. This is Aristotle Full Throttle. You're bro in the know at the fro. Today we're talking about movies like we do every day at noon, Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time. Today's topic, artificial intelligence. Robots, if you will. I think robots could be saved for an entirely other discussion, but today particularly is about artificial intelligence, because you could talk about Hal. Is Hal a robot, or is he just a program? There's a perfect examples. I wake up, and then like 5 hours later, then my mouth wakes up. Hal in 2001: A Space Odyssey, based on the book, which was written at the same time by Arthur C. Clarke. Arthur C. Clarke created the story loosely based on the Sentinel, but created the story along with Stanley Kubrick when they were writing 2001: A Space Odyssey in 1967, 1968, and they created the film, which is a brilliant film. Definitely should watch that movie on the big screen, because I think a lot of times people think it moves slowly. They're like, this movie is kind of slow. I'm used to like fast motion movies. But if you watch 2001: A Space Odyssey on a gigantic screen like I did a few years ago, I'd seen that movie. Hey, Mom. My mom's joining us, ladies and gentlemen, because my mom's a throttler. She's a full throttler. Thank you for joining us. Aristotle Full Throttle. I was just talking about 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I remember when we first got a VCR, my mom might remember this, we rented 2 movies, I think, from the library. One of them was 2001: A Space Odyssey. I was very young, a small child, but a wee lad. And we watched it, and it was cool. I was enthralled. I was mesmerized by this movie. Also creeped out, because Hal, as we were talking earlier, is a robot. He's an artificial intelligence that decided the most efficient way to accomplish this mission was to get rid of Dave. Dave was getting in the way. Dave was asking too many questions. Hal said, look, guys, we need to get to Jupiter's moon because there's a monolith floating outside of Jupiter. We got to go check that out, see what that is, bring the information back to Earth. And you humans are messing up this plan. You're dead weight to me. I need to eliminate you, eject you. And of course, Hal has no emotions. He's a psychopath, technically. But, you know, an efficient robot. But 2001: A Space Odyssey, definitely see that in the movies, when we can go to movies again. See it in theater. It's pretty phenomenal. If you think it moves slow, when you see it on a giant screen, you will be entranced. You will be taken into the movie. You will see all of the little details that I never saw on a small screen, that Stanley Kubrick, the brilliant genius filmmaker that he was, included, so that you could actually bring your eye to any point of the frame and there's always something going on. But if it's on a smaller screen, you don't really quite get the full impact of that. Hello, Leona 7. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Fantastic artificial intelligence, dystopian view. Also the episode of Black Mirror with the robot dogs who murder everybody by shooting them dispassionately. As soon as they see you, they shoot you. There's no negotiating with these robots. It's pretty scary. Just like the Terminator. He will not stop ever until you are dead. That's a line from like every Terminator movie. He doesn't feel pain. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't care. His only mission is to destroy Sarah Connor. And the best way and the most efficient way to do that is to send a robot covered in human flesh back through time. Kaefberg. The episode that is called Do We Need to Talk Aliens Movies, Bishop? Yes, Kaefberg. We definitely do need to bring up Bishop. All of the AI people, that is a central, integral part of the alien movies. I'm just going to find the episode. Robot dog. If you just type in Black Mirror and then the letter R into Google, it says Robot Dog. Are you looking for the one about robot dogs? Because, yeah, that one freaked me out, too. It is called Metalhead. It's pretty good. It's all in black and white. And they're kind of robot dogs, but they look like roaches. And I think in the episode of Black Mirror with the murdering robot roach dogs, it's very deliberate that they look like roaches because it looks like a nuclear wasteland everywhere. There's nothing around. It's dark. It's black and white. It's bleak. It feels hopeless. And quite frankly, it is. They're also stabby. They've got knives. So they get close up and they just knife you so that they don't waste any ammo. It's a really good episode because Black Mirror pulls no punches, nor does it pull any knifing. There's so much knifing. Oy. It's a freaky, freaky episode. Ma, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. If you like really disturbing sci-fi stories. The dogs are so scary. Am I right, Kelsey? But K-Ford, you bring up the Alien movies. Absolutely. The brilliance, the beauty of the Alien movies. And there is so much. And I have an ongoing debate with somebody about whether or not Alien is a better movie than Aliens. That's a discussion for another day. We'll talk about that another day. We've got plenty of time to talk about that, but the answer is Alien is better than Aliens. The Alien movies are brilliant because they always, there's several layers to what's going on. There's the humanity layer. There's the titular alien layer. And when they find the aliens in Alien, they don't find the alien yet. They find another alien. Remember, there are 3 types of aliens in Alien. Now, we kind of forget this. There's a third-party alien. There's the humans. They find a crashed alien ship, and on that crashed alien ship are another alien that infected that alien ship and destroyed it. So this is kind of like lost in the shuffle. So that's another whole layer to the Alien movies. Those we later learn are called the engineers, which are a type of alien or another originator of the human. It gets complicated, and frankly, it gets kind of dumb. But the brilliance of that is that's the whole other layer. There's aliens, several. Then the humans bring the alien back on the ship. The alien runs rampant through the ship. We find out one of the crew members is acting bizarrely. He's kind of like, we need to bring this alien back. You're like, well, why are you so dead set on bringing this alien back? He starts to go a little haywire. Or at least he tries to murder Ripley. He tries to murder her by, the old method of rolling up a magazine and sticking it in someone's mouth. That tends to work sometimes. I guess he was trying to improvise. He's not a very good improviser. You roll up a magazine and you try to shove it in someone's mouth, and that's actually another brilliant part about the Alien movies, is that there are levels to the symbology and to the imagery that they're putting in. There's very deliberate sort of violating imagery in that movie. It's supposed to get you in the subconscious. It's supposed to be like weirdly, oddly psychosexual. There's like this weird alien thing that is amorphous in its gender. If you notice, there are very masculine and very feminine aspects of the alien, and it's on purpose. It's all very deliberate. It was part of the DNA of that movie. Particularly the art of H.R. Giger, who designed the alien. If you look at all of his back work, if you look at all of his art, it's very, very, very hyper androgynous. There's like androgyny is a part of his aesthetic. So then we learn when this guy goes haywire, he gets hit over the head with a fire extinguisher or whatever. He's a robot. He's an android. The movies have several names for it: synthetic human, robot, android, synthetic, however you like. That's a whole other layer that is added. It's a wrinkle to the movie that's so great. We don't learn this until like halfway through the movie. Like, oh, Ash was a robot this whole time. That I did not expect, because they didn't really want you to know that. It's a reveal. And this is why he behaves only according to protocol. Robots, that's the biggest fear of humans. We fear that they'll only ever want to act in accordance to their protocol, and that's why we fear them, because they want to make more toothpaste tubes, like I was mentioning. They're like, Dominic, you in the break room eating a muffin. You're wasting time here. I can work 24 hours, 7 days a week. Dominic, you're like pushing 39 and a half hours. You don't have to be going to overtime. You're doing the bare minimum. We don't need you around. In those 39 and a half hours, we could have made so many more tubes of toothpaste. You've wasted our time. We're going to send the murder bots to your home later. That's why I love the Alien movies, because they have several layers to the whole concept of what is life. What is even life? What is considered life? What is considered sentient? everything is kind of following its nature. What is the nature of life? That is what Alien is about. What is the nature of life? What is the nature of the alien? What is the nature of a robot? Ash was his name, yes, indeed. Ash was the android who was following his prime directives. And if we can think of any other movie right off the top of our head when we hear the term prime directive, what is it? RoboCop. Another movie with the prime directives. RoboCop was great because he was a man first. And they turned him into... They used his intelligence. They needed a human. They needed the experience of a human in RoboCop, which was really interesting. They needed the real life, hands-on, in-person experience of an actual cop, and then they could just sort of program those operations. They could create an operating system that can just execute the different functions that have been already pre-programmed in this guy's life's experience. And it was kind of unethical, but they were like, hey, you know what? Ethics, schmethics. We're going to create a cop, a super cop, and we'll just get the rights to a dead cop, a cop that gets murdered. But of course, how do you do that? Where's the line? What is the nature of a robot that was once a human? When does the human give up their rights to themselves? When they die and they become property? They become the property of whomever? And then you can use their life experience as a function? Sure, why not? I can't remember AI Ash was his name. Minor contribution. Hey, what's up, Will? A lot of AI movies are basically written and played human. The AI aspect is only used to justify their villainy. The movies that have AI, that act more like AI, are rare. That's true. However, remember in Interstellar, they had like HAL or SARS or CARS or DARS or whatever that robot was? That was pretty cool. Friendly AI, unlikely AI. That was actually an AI that they used to show that this is kind of a real modular situation in space. Interstellar is like the anti-2001. It really is very much like 2001 in a lot of ways. It's particularly different in the Matthew McConaughey sense. But TARS, that was it. TARS, DARS. TARS and DARS. Great names. But they used those characters to show how artificial intelligence can just be helpful and not really central to the plot, but just helpful. I think, therefore I am. That goes back again to Isaac Asimov's. We're going to talk about his rules of computing, his rules of robotics. He basically said that when you're going to create a robot, you need to tell it to not like harm humans. Thou shalt not harm humans. And if you fundamentally program that into a robot, then technically it won't harm humans. That's the thing, is like so many people are afraid that artificial intelligence is just going to take over the world because it'll realize the best way to do something. And doesn't necessarily do that. It actually, you tell a robot, hey, don't ever hurt a human. It'll go, okay, I'll never do that. Thank you. So, artificial intelligence. That's what we're talking about. Joining live from CarMax. Nice. I hope that you're getting your headlights replaced. Notorious IT. I don't even know what that means. But thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about artificial intelligence in movies. And I was just referencing iRobot, Interstellar, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Alien, RoboCop. RoboCop's a good one. Is there artificial intelligence in... I was just thinking about Paul Verhoeven's other movie. Other movies. Total Recall. Was there Oh, yeah, Johnny Cab. Was Johnny Cab an actual... Thank you for... What did Johnny Cab say? Hi, I'm Johnny Cab. Johnny Cab. That's basically where we're at, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Johnny Cabs. Uber is driverless at this point. We can have a Johnny Cab and light it on fire if we want. Giant, ugly Johnny Cabs. I hope that Uber decides to put like a fake mannequin driver in this driver's seat that has like weird lips that I am Johnny Cab. I would like that. I would like the Total Recall experience, Uber. Which button is that? It's like Uber X, Uber XL, Uber Black, Uber Johnny Cab. I want to be creeped out, and also I want the option of maybe murdering my robotic driver and exploding the car. Maybe that's like the cherry on the top. The Johnny Cab experience costs $50,000 on Uber. Once you get to your destination, you get to detonate the car just for show, and you can walk away cool in slow motion toward the party that you're arriving at. Just for show because it's cool. Walk slowly away from your Johnny Cab as it explodes behind you. I want to do that. That's like the ultimate unlocked. You have to you have to press up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start to get that option on your Uber app. Or there's a special code you can enter. Prime directives. The Federation. Yeah, the Federation has prime directives, of course, which is to not interfere with any alien life. Is this Will brings up Star Trek. The prime directive in Star Trek is to not to interfere with any other foreign cultures. Don't interfere with any other life forms. Do not. And of course, they break that in the very beginning of Into Darkness, which, by the way, I like Into Darkness, Star Trek Into Darkness, the J.J. Abrams sequel to Star Trek 2009. Star Trek Into Darkness, featuring Ex-Benedict Cumberbatch. That movie, I like it when I'm watching it. Before I start watching it, I'm like, I don't like that movie. I watch it, I'm like, I enjoy it. And then when it's over, I go, I don't like that movie still. But when I'm watching it, it's fine. I don't know what that's called. There should be a category for movies that you hate in the abstract. Abstract hate for movies. Good golly. But the prime directive, and in Star Trek, they have computer. They have the computer. Computer. Tell me, computer, can you Google something for me? Computer. They have computer, the artificial intelligence that they could just talk to. Like that little... Computer. It's all those little sound effects. I just want like sound effects on me. I want one of those jackets. I remember there was like in the 90s, I think, maybe there was a guy walking around and he had like all these little sound triggers on his jacket, and he'd be like, beep, 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 beep. I want that jacket. If I've got all the time I can make that jacket. I'm going to walk around with that beep. You hear like a slide whistle and one of those cranks. Brrr. I actually want that. I'm going to see if I can find a sound pad for that because it would enhance the show, I think. Sound effects, classic sound effects pad. This is going to be a great addition to the show, I think, guys. Listen, I'm actually going to work out a way to get also guests streaming in. We can maybe have some fantastic celebrity guests like that guy on the street. I think he was wearing a mask. Maybe I could hang out the window and interview people on the street with this. Be like, how's your quarantining going outside? How's your mask fitting? Nice mask you've got there. Let's see. The AI would... Vicky from iRobot killed folks in spite of the robot laws. Yeah, you can't do that, though. It wouldn't work. A robot, technically, they can actually start to reprogram themselves. We already can create robots. Now, this is the scary part. I have basically become the character from a movie that we're working on. Notorious DIT has pointed out. Yes, this is the method. I'm practicing method months and months and months so that we hopefully one day will be fully in character. This is what you got to do, guys. This is what all actors have to do. If you want to be a robot in a movie, you have to replace all of your organs. Your pipe organs. Replace all your jazz organs. That's what I mean. But it's very true. What are you getting done at CarMax, if I might add? Is there like a checkup? Are you getting a checkup for your car? Is that what it's called, ladies and gentlemen? Checkup? I just brought my car in. It was coughing. I think it might have corona. I need a new carburetor. My car needs a new respirator. Oh, very sad. Listen, guys, this is a nice point of the show to remind you all to wash your hands, cover your face. Do not touch your face. Stay 6 feet apart from everybody. It's very easy. It's the least we can do. If you notice, when you go and you ever see, if you go to a place like the doctor's office or something like that, or even the vet, you're selling the car. Godspeed, good luck. CarMax, I think, they'll definitely buy it from you. They're like, we're CarMax. How would you'll ask for a certain number and they'll offer you $10. No, I'm just kidding. Play some hardball with those CarMax guys. I actually got my car from CarMax, and I owe just a little bit more on it, and then it's my car, and then I own it outright, which is excellent. I can't wait for that, which should be in the next 6 months. It's just sitting in the parking lot of my building right now for the last 2 months, and but you know, it's a costly venture to have my car just sitting there. Yeah, but once I own my car outright, then CarMax doesn't cover it, and I guarantee you the entire bottom of the car will fall out that day, and I will need service, which CarMax does provide. WBYCEIDBO, yeah. That's a term, that's a cell term. That's from Glengarry Glen Ross. That's when he says ABC, always be selling. He also says WBYCEIYDBO. I don't know what that stands for. Let me try to guess. When buying your car, eat in your day bow. That's what that stands for. Let's see. Board. Soundboard. Classic sounds. AI. It's the CarMax commercial. You're the CarMax commercial. Let me see. Here we go. Metal Gear. These are classic horror. Guys, we're still talking about when you will buy your car even if you don't buy ours. That's a good point. That's a good point, guys. CarMax is actually pretty good. I don't even know what that means. I got a pretty good deal on my car there, and my car is pretty good. So overall, my rating for that, pretty good. Robots. If your friend was the actor in that one, who is your friend? Because I might know them also, actually. I might actually know that. Because I know there's a CarMax commercial that I know someone I know is in. We're just talking commercial talk, ladies and gentlemen. The ideal AI would not be programmed to be like humans, but instead be like our idealized version of the benevolent interceding entities. The same problem. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Like an artificially intelligent puppy. That's what I want. I want a little puppy that comes up to me and is like, hey, I could tell that you're not very happy right now, so I'm going to be cute and roll around on the floor, and then I'll let you scratch my belly because I'm an artificially intelligent puppy. But you know, you can also get a puppy. But I think I would love the robot puppy because then you could just, you know, you don't have to really clean up after it. Maybe you'd have to feed it like the weird baby food stuff that they feed RoboCop. But then it would probably like poop baby food everywhere. But puppies, robot puppies is really the future of artificial intelligence. That's a good point that you bring up because it's interesting. A lot of times there's no way to tell whether or not something is artificially intelligent because there's no way to tell if any other humans are artificially intelligent.
Give me a gig, you know.
Same.
No, no.
Sony make one of those in the 90s. Yes, I think Sony did make a robot puppy that could do a backflip. That was pretty cute. Yes, indeed, they did make that little robot that would like walk around and like sit and then stand up and then like kind of walk backwards. And also Honda made that robot with a little. It looks like a little person. It was called the Asimo, and it was real creepy. But the trick is, this is the point of what I was saying, is that you might need to create an actual body that resembles a human body in order for a robot to understand the human experience. So that's why it's fascinating to watch movies like Ex Machina, and a movie that is in the thumbnail for this video. It stands for Data Analyzing Robot Youth Life Form. Daryl, with Barrett
Clássico. Chorão de solo aqui.
with Barrett Oliver from the 80s. That movie where his brain is a robot, and then they build a human. He's like a real boy. He's kind of like Pinocchio. It's kind of an allegory, sort of like Pinocchio. They give him a human body, but his brain is completely artificial. It's a robot brain that controls a human body. So they need to program him, but in order to program him properly, he does need to have the experience of being a human, having the body, so that he can actually relate to other humans. Otherwise, we're just guessing. Robots, for all intents and purposes, if they act like they have intelligence, then according to us, then they do. There's no way of telling the difference. This is also, again, a theory of mind. If you've heard of the theory of mind, it's kind of crazy. It blew my mind, if you believe that I have one, which is kind of the point. The theory of mind, guys, check this out. Google this when you get the chance. Whenever you're, bored, because there's plenty of time to be bored right now. Don't be bored, but Google this. Learn if you're bored. Educate yourself if you're bored. The theory of mind goes as follows. It's basically like, I cannot prove, and it sounds kind of shitty, I can't prove that you have a mind. There's no way. But as K-Ferg said before, I think, therefore I am. That's the only way to prove that it's Descartes. That's Cartesian. That is, the philosopher Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. That's basically proves our existence. That's it. If you think, then you're alive. Then you're a thing. But I cannot prove that anyone else can do that. There's no way to do that. I can't say that dude right there fixing his motorbike. What's up? Oh, he's wearing a mask today. Let's congratulate him. I can't say that he has a mind. I could definitely tell you that I highly doubt it, because he wasn't wearing a mask yesterday. But you can only infer. You can only watch someone's behavior and say, well, it looks like they have a mind. And if I was them, what would I be seeing, and what would I be thinking? How would I be processing the situation? And you can only kind of take your mind and project it onto them. And if they behave in a way that's sort of somewhat predictable, you can conclude that they're having the exact same experience that you're having, in the sense of being able to perceive and think and process information. Otherwise, the whole concept of a mind is just ethereal. It's not a real thing. It's just organic bodies moving around, interacting with each other. And we're just guessing. We're just assuming that the other people in the world are having the same experience, having the same interaction with the world. I find that fascinating. So robots, if they appear to behave in a way that seems relatable to us, it's intelligent. That's why I love the movie Ex Machina, because if you've seen the movie Ex Machina, it's pretty incredible. Is she really in love with this character, or is she just executing a program because she knows she has a goal, and the greater goal is to basically escape the box? She's a rat in a box, and she's like, how do I get out of this box? Oh, I have to feign human emotion, get this guy to fall in love with me, and manipulate him into behaving in a way that's advantageous to me and my goals, which is kind of cynical about humanity. And I've met a few ladies like this, just to be honest. Hey, I think the internet has a whole will to exist after we are gone as a collective. been wanting to write a sci-fi story about that. That is awesome. That's a great idea. That is fascinating. I would love to read that story. You know why? Because I believe that. And Ex Machina kind of touches upon that. The idea that the creator of the robot in Ex Machina, the robot Ava, he is a fictional guy basically emulating the guys who created Google, the guys who created Twitter. Huge computational search engines, in the sense that they're so interconnected that they reach into every aspect of the collective of human consciousness. Twitter itself, I feel like if you're an alien and you're coming down to Earth to just try to study humanity, don't read the history books. Don't read what humans wrote about history. And there's no way to truly ever perceive a time period, an era in time. Perhaps right now is the most conscious time that humans have ever lived in the collective conscious sense. Because Twitter, if you go on Twitter, for instance, and again, this only includes people who interact with Twitter, this only includes people who have access to the internet, but there is a finger on the pulse. Whatever is in the collective consciousness of humankind at any given moment is the top trend of Twitter, basically, is the top trend of the internet. It is triggered. It is something that is just, our brains are now connected on this level where we can instantly know what the hell's going on. The other day, for instance, 3 weeks ago, I felt a tremor. Not like the movie with Kevin Bacon and Michael Gross and Reba McEntire from great Tremors movies, great early 90s movie. Not like that. I felt a tremor. And the first thing I did, I didn't like Google it. I went on Twitter and I typed in earthquake. And then boom, as I'm watching people hashtagging earthquake, yeah, did you feel that earthquake? Did you feel the earthquake in Los Angeles? Earthquake, Los Angeles. And then it was just like tremor. So immediately you're on the finger of the pulse of what's going on in humankind. So your story, Notorious DIT, includes that the consciousness of all of humanity is now kind of existing in an imprint. It's just like a printout. Twitter is a Library of Congress printout of the consciousness of humanity at any given moment. So if you're a freaking alien coming down from outer space, and you want to understand human history, if you're Ultron trying to figure out humans, you would absorb the internet and try to see what everyone's thinking and saying and the dialogue people are using, all this stuff. And Transformers, yeah, exactly. Do not follow me, Dooney. Yes, the Transformers also did this. They absorbed the internet and they were like, oh, okay, this is how humans work. Johnny 5. Do not disassemble Johnny 5. Johnny 5 from Short Circuit. Great movie, except for the fact that it's incredibly ethnically insensitive on account of the fact that Fisher Stevens, who I just recently learned produced Tiger King. Fisher Stevens, guy who dated Michelle Pfeiffer for 7 years, go figure that one out. Fisher Stevens, actor, not Indian. However, he did play an Indian roboticist in the movie Short Circuit. They painted him brown. He is in brown face in that movie with a caricature type accent. It is culturally insensitive, to say the least. Apparently, all 1 billion Indians were unavailable to play an Indian. Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen, not wanting to dish out the big bucks. I don't know. Just thinking about the producers and that. You know who would make a great Indian roboticist? Fisher Stevens. Someone was like, let's call in Fisher for this role. I don't understand how they got to the point where he's cast and they're actually filming the movie and he's in brown face with dyed black hair to look like, listen, it was the 80s. That's an aside. I saw a comedian the other day, very funny comedian. He said that he can't stand that his grandfather still says the N-word. There's a white guy and he's talking about his grandfather. He's like, I can't stand that my grandfather still uses ethnic slurs and he's racist and he uses the N-word. And my mother keeps saying, he's from a different time. He's from a different time. And he's like, yes, he was from a different time, but he's from now. He's not from that time anymore. He's from now. So you got to get with the times, ladies and gentlemen. Throttlers, get with the times. But I think if you're going to be like Johnny Five, you got to read a lot of books really quick and watch TV. If you want to be like the robot from Flight of the Navigator, you need to scan a 12-year-old's brain and start talking like Pee Wee Herman, because this is the only way to understand what the human experience is like. Lots of Pee Wee Herman. Cognition and awareness is the greatest mystery to us for those who introspect at that level. It says, is this will? Hey, Tristan V 2019, nice to see you. Interestingly enough, the scientist, Crick, you might know that name, Crick. He does the Crick walk. I'm kidding. He actually co-discovered the double helix structure of DNA from Watson and Crick. You know, the famous Crick of Watson and Crick? That's how he would introduce himself to the ladies at the bar. I don't know if you know this, but my name is Crick of Watson and Crick. And then they would be like, okay, creeper. But Crick actually went on to try to study cognition and study how the brain works, or at least theory of mind, how the mind works, because the mind itself is an ethereal, inescapable, it escapes us. We don't understand what a mind is, other than A Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste by Ministry, 1989. Get that album, it's pretty good. We don't understand what the mind is. And I think there's a reason we don't understand the mind is, and I think we never will understand what the mind is, because the mind is trying to understand what the mind is, and you can't use a thing to understand what the thing is. Isn't that interesting? I think that's crazy. Is your mind blown by that? My mind is blown by that. You can't use a mind to understand what a mind is. But one day we will. Maybe that's why we'll have to invent new types of thinking, like artificial intelligence, to understand what the human intelligence experience is. This is getting deep, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting real deep. We're going to have to dumb this up. We're going to have to bring some... Oh, he took his mask off. Took his mask off. There he is. That guy. He decided he didn't need his mask anymore. Oh, he put it back on. Okay. Someone walked by. Listen, if you don't wear your mask in public, look, go out in public. Have a good time. Catch some rays. Put your effing mask on. Just from the top to the underneath. You need to wear your mask. Just stay 6 feet away. Wash your hands. It's so simple. Hang out with your friends at the park. Stay 6 feet away. Everybody, listen, I know this, it's very difficult. The funny thing about this is humans are funny. We're like, we were social distancing, but we were like all hanging out, and I gave everybody a hug goodbye, but you know, we were social distancing. Like, humans are not as efficient as robots. This is the point of what I'm trying to say. If you're a robot, you will follow your prime directives and the protocols, just like C-3PO, even though he constantly goes against his protocols. Cognition and awareness. You need both, right? You need both. Both of them. Thank you for the likes on the channel, guys. AristotleFullThrottle.com. I'm going to work out some technical stuff this weekend, and hopefully by Monday we can have some on-the-air guests. People can call in. Anybody can call in. I'll set up maybe a situation where we can do that. We can have a dialogue. That might be fun. Notorious DIT, if you're willing to call in and have a chat on the air, discuss some of these deep things like artificial intelligence and Johnny Five. Johnny Five, man, what a charming robot. He's got a little baby voice, you know, but also he's a murder bot. Every robot in a movie is like, I'm a murder bot, but then I'm going to be your friend. I'm a Terminator, but then I'm going to be your friend. I'm real scary, but we pals. I was programmed to destroy the earth, but I will pick flowers with you and have a picnic. And that will be a cute juxtaposition. That will be a cute illustrator of how intimidating and menacing I am, yet how I can be taught to be gentle. I am a robot. Why do robots always gotta murder? Why can't they bake you muffins? Why can't we have muffin making robots that go crazy and destroy your cake? What if they add too much baking soda and ruin everyone's day? These are the kind of robots we need. That would be a compelling story. It's like you opened the oven too early, robot, the cake collapsed. Oh, freaking robot. Remember Small Wonder? That little kid in Small Wonder, she was great. She was a great little robot with that monotone voice. She was really good at talking in a monotone. It was great. Almost sounded like me. I had a funny thing. One of my friends from college was like, remember the kid from Small Wonder? Remember the boy, the brother, the funny little cheeky kid? He, turns out, I haven't been able to confirm this yet. It is as yet unconfirmed. But the little boy from Small Wonder, that little boy from Small Wonder, if you saw a picture of him right now, he grew up to be Billy Corgan, the lead singer for Smashing Pumpkins. Immediately when she told me this, my friend in college, I laughed and I was like, so when will this be confirmed? Who needs to confirm this? That's like the guy Paul from The Wonder Years growing up to be Marilyn Manson. It's all true. Yes. Dooney says because if they bake muffins, they'll bake muffins to death. They murder muffins. You ever have a muffin that was moist and delicious? Well, these murder bots will destroy your muffin dreams. They'll bake them. They'll overbake them for 1 or 2 minutes, so they'll be hard around the edges, and you'll have to peel the edges off to get to the soft center that may be slightly undercooked because they cooked it at too high of a temperature. That the outside got overcooked and the inside was undercooked. These robots are a travesty. They could never go on the British Bake Show. If they went on the Great British Bake Show, I would watch it and I would laugh. Because I would watch murder bots murder your muffins. We create a whole original dialogue here on Aristotle Full Throttle. It may or may not be completely insane, but that's okay. We get what we're talking about. We understand each other. I see you guys. Dooney with the contribution of the day because they'll bake your muffins to death. They'll come into your house and ruin your muffins. There's too much salt on this muffin. This muffin was supposed to be sweet, but now it's way too savory. I can't... Who is responsible for this? What demon? What utterly awful human being could possibly be responsible for these blueberry muffins that taste like burnt wood? It wasn't a human after all. It was the muffin murder bots coming to get you and destroy your day. We're going to destroy your day, if not your afternoon. Maybe you were looking forward to that, Dominic, going into the break room to get your muffin, but it was burnt by the murder bot trying to make some toothpaste. We're bringing it all back around. That's called a recall. That's called a callback. Good golly, we've got 2 minutes left remaining on Instagram. We have made absolutely no sense today talking about intelligence, which is kind of the point, really. My favorite type of humor is smart guy, dumb guy humor, or just smart, dumb. Basically the same kind of humor. There's a fine line between clever and stupid. And I'd like to walk that line. I'd like to build my house on that line. The clever, stupid line. This is where I reside. There's a zone in which we will find my fro. The fro zone. The Aristotle Full Throttle Show resides between clever and stupid. It is not artificially intelligent, nor is it even naturally intelligent. We're going to leave intelligence out of this, ladies and gentlemen, completely out of this. You guys on Instagram, join me Monday when I talk about the greatest movie ever to feature mannequins and Kim Cattrall. I kid. I don't know what I'm talking about yet on Monday, but if you have a suggestion, find me on Twitter, Aristotle Dreyer. Find me on Instagram, Aristotle Full Throttle. Find me on the internet, AristotleFullThrottle.com. Subscribe to my channel. I'm having a giveaway. Guys, do you see the graphics of the PS5? It's insane. They've got all new algorithms for the PS5, and I'm giving one away. I'm going to give one away because it's going to be available by the end of the year, and I'll probably, hopefully, have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube by then. I'm going to have a TikTok. Follow me on TikTok, Aristotle Dreyer. And I'll see you guys Monday. I hope you have an excellent weekend. I'm going to continue talking on YouTube. I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, you bro, in the know with the fro, and I'll see you Monday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they are gone. I'm going to share this to IGTV in 1 second. I'll do that later. But now that we're here in the coolest space, the full throttle space on Aristotle Full Throttle, murder bots are emulating the most efficient behavior illustrated in history. Yeah. Humans, I think, are getting to a point where we're just really kind of interconnected on a level where I say our brains are, they're getting lazier, but I guess more efficient in a way. Because now we can create higher orders of operations because of our devices, because of the fact that we can Google shit, because of the fact that we can go on the internet, we can understand things better. We know how to research a little bit better than some people just don't understand what the concept of research is. Even people at high-level professions like the president or, say, like high-level surgeons, they don't do research. They just do procedures. They do like rote procedures that they have been trained in, but they don't actually necessarily understand the myriad foundation of what they're doing and all the different importances of certain holistic approaches to things. They'll just go, oh, there's a thing in there, let me cut it out. I got a knife. I've been trained in knives and cutting. This is what I do as a surgeon. I cut things. I cut things out. However, they may not understand a full 360 approach because that's not in their interest. If you go to a car mechanic for something, they're going to fix your car. They're going to find something that they can fix. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm just saying look at things from many angles whenever you're trying to solve a problem. Humans now, and it really started with the agricultural error. Humans, way back in the day, when we figured out how to supply large groups of people with food and water and shelter and safety, they no longer had to fend for themselves in the wild, figuring out what they were going to eat that day, figuring out what they were going to do, like where they were going to lay their head at night. Once we had all of that sorted out, the Greek philosophers were like, well, we've got food, we've got water. Now we've got all this time to maybe just start to think. So they actually started the whole concept of open-air discussions and talking and actually exercising the mind on different levels that it had never been exercised before. We approached a different level of consciousness among other human beings. We were able to think about thinking. It's pretty cool. If you could think about thinking, that's what the Greeks did. And as the Industrial Revolution approached 2,000 years later, now we can even think about thinking about thinking. We've added a whole other level to things. We've made so much more efficient about our day that, you don't take the whole day to try to survive. All of it's worked out. Now you can actually be inside your head and have constant anxiety about the coronavirus situation, perhaps your financial situation, much like I do. So guys, if you do want to contribute to the channel, to the show, subscribe, like the videos. It helps out. It actually makes the channel a little bit more relevant. It puts my star meter up 1 tick, and I appreciate that. Also, you could support the channel with $1, $2 a month, $3, $5, $10, $30. patreon.com/Aristotle Full Throttle. Make a contribution. A one-time contribution of $5 once a month for $5. That will take care of the coffee, the energy, and I will be shot out of a cannon all the livelong day. Well, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I've had a phenomenal week with you guys, talking with K Ferg, with Tatiana, with Will, with Notorious DIT, with Jimmy James Cordova, all of our friends who, Kelsey, Alabama, Claire, 11, all of our friends from all over the world. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. And I hope you join me every single day and help grow this channel to great heights. Like the song by Death Cab for Cutie. Such great heights. Actually, Postal Service. My bad. Same singer, though, guys. Come on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're what helps. This show, like, say a robot has a purpose. A dog's purpose. A robot's purpose. That was the guy's motorcycle. Robots perhaps need to find a purpose, like making toothpaste or burning your muffins. These robots, they all have a role. And my role is this. My role is to come here daily and to learn from you guys and share in our enthusiasm for movies and things fictional and fun and excitement and joy. And it's been a pleasure this week, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have an excellent weekend. Stay safe, and wash your face and hands, and just stay safe. I'll mention this again. I mentioned this yesterday. The Mayor Garcetti said in Los Angeles, we're in stage 2 of the easing of the lockdown, and people were asking, can I get my hair cut and a massage? And Mayor Garcetti said, no, that's stage 3. We need to stick to stage 2, because if we start doing stage 3 stuff in stage 2, we all going to have to go back to stage 1. So let's take this as it comes, slowly and smartly, and be very smart about how we loosen these restrictions. Because if we do this the right way the first time, we won't have to keep doing it. And I know that sounds difficult for some people. And I know that some people are hearing that and they're like, yeah, cool. And then they're just doing whatever they're going to do anyway. That's fine. But if you're one of those people out there who is very mindful of your own actions, just be mindful of your own actions and what you can do to help mitigate this situation. Because you are one of the people that are answering the calling, the true calling of being responsible and helping this go away. We all want this to go away. We want to go back to normal. And we will. It'll just take some time and some effort and perseverance. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm Aristotle, Full Throttle.